Hi, Class 205. This is a review of the lesson 13.4, Finding Unknown Measures. As you can see, here's the lesson number on top. And today we're going to practice using what you have to find out what you don't know. So let's go over the notes that we have here for the first and the second story, and then that'll get ready for you to practice finding the unknown measure for questions 1 and 2. Fred has 30 yards of fencing to enclose a rectangular vegetable garden. He wants it to be 6 yards wide. How long will his garden be? So I underlined fencing because that gives us a clue where we need to find out if we're going to be studying perimeter, right? Or this is my best job at handwriting. Or if we're going to be studying area. So we need to know the meaning of those two before we're able to solve, right? So the area, as you are probably saying to yourself in your head, is the measurement inside of a shape. But perimeter is different because it is the measurement around a shape. Oh, this isn't as messy as I thought it was going to be. All right. Perimeter is the measurement around a shape. So one of the clues that lets you know that it's around a shape is a word that tells you something like this, fencing, because you know a fence goes around a yard, right? So for this top question, let's decide whether this problem involves area or perimeter. Which would you say, area or perimeter? Since it's fencing, perimeter is right. Use a formula for perimeter. The width is 6 yards. The perimeter all around is 30. The length is unknown. So we know that the perimeter will be 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. We know that the perimeter is 30. So that's going to be equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times 6, because 6 is the width. Now, why is it 2 times? Because the top is 6 and the bottom is 6. Just the same thing as the length, L. It's the same thing on the top and the bottom. There's 2 L's to find perimeter and 2 widths. 6 is the width, right? 6 is the width each time. So that's how you find perimeter. L plus width plus width. That's the same thing as 2 times L plus 2 times W, 2 times width. So we know the formula for the, we know the value for perimeter, and we know the value for the width. But what we don't know is how long it is. But let's keep going with what we know and we can solve. 30 is equal to 2 times L. That's the 2 L's we know we have to add, plus 12, because 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So we know that 18 is going to be equal to 2 times L. Now, how do we know that? Because this whole value, 30, is equal to something plus 12. So that means that since we know 30 equals blank times 12, right? This is the missing number we need to find. And that's the same as saying 30 equals blank plus 12. That means that you know this number must be 18, right? Because if you use 30 plus, 30 is equal to blank plus 12. You should already know that in this blank is going to be, if I take 12 and I subtract it from 30, I'm going to get that number. So it's 18. So that's how they got 18 here. There's some mental math happening. So 18 is equal to 2 times L. 2 times L is going to be equal to 18, right? This is 18. So therefore, 2 times L, right? 2 times L is the same as 18. So L must be, same thing as, that's a silly way that I wrote it, right? 2 times L is 18. So L plus L is 18. That's the same thing as 18 divided by 2 is L. So L must be 9, because 9 plus 9 equals 18. So L is 9. Now we can check. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24, and 24 plus 6 is 30. So the length of the yard is 9. Now let's try this story. Carol has 120 square inches. Ooh, that means that the measurement is going to be squares inside, right? Square inches tells you that this is a measurement of, let's use that clue. The piece of wood is rectangular and has a height of 10 inches. So 10 inches is how high it is. How long is the base? This is the base, right? So let's decide whether this problem involves area or perimeter. Well, square inches gives you a clue because we only use square units when we're measuring area. Use a formula for area. The height is 10. The area is 120. The length is unknown. So we know that area equals base times height. Area equals 120, right? So inside of this shape, the area is 120. And 120 equals the base, which we don't know, times 10. So we need to figure out what this base is going to be equal to. What number times 10 will give you 120? You can solve that by dividing, right? 120 equals, don't forget what you know about number relationships, times 10. So that means the same as 120 divided by 10 will tell you the base. What number do you have to divide, or rather, what number will you get when you solve for 120 divided by 10? What will this equal? That's going to equal 12. Therefore, 12 is the base. And that's how they got it here. Since 120 equals 12 times 10, the value of B is 12. So that's how we find unknown measures. First, you decide if it's area or perimeter. Then you write the formula and you find the missing value. So you will see these two questions today in your Google form. It will be the same as these two questions where you have to use the information you know. Here they tell you the perimeter for number 1. And the perimeter, of course, is the measurement of the outside, or the measurement around a shape. And here for question 2, they tell you the area. And area is the measurement inside the shape. Okay? And that's in square units. So use this information to solve 1 and 2 on Google Form today. I'm proud of you, children.